Hi Rachna, hi Harshini, hi Hakima, Sejal, Priyanka, hi guys. Nice to see you all here. So guys, a lot of you send me questions about my skin. A lot of you have doubts about what to use, what not to use. And honestly, this entire journey into skincare and is almost like getting to know like a boyfriend. You need to have a really great relationship with your skin because it really impacts it gets impacted rather by how you feel, what you eat, what your moods are like. And I feel that we've all gone through many phases of life where our skin has been a good boyfriend and sometimes you want to dump him. So this Insta Live is kind of about my skincare approach, which is barefaced beauty largely. I have stayed away from a full-on skincare regime for the longest time, and I actually started off in December when I had a plan, almost like a diet plan. I actually had a plan, and I started it with my dermatologist, Dr. Pooja, who's going to join us shortly. I actually never gave that much insight or thought into my skincare routine, only because I wanted it to be very, very minimal. I have like a less is more approach, so I wanted it to be minimal. I wanted it to be very, very simple. I wanted it to be something that my skin doesn't react to, something that it doesn't get dependent on, and I really wanted to stay away from harsh chemicals, from harsh additives, and really the skincare boom has happened, I think, for me at least, in the pandemic, where I've really learned a lot about actives, I've learned a lot about acids, I've learned a lot about the things that you should and shouldn't be putting on your skin. And so I'm gonna ask Dr. Pooja to join, because she's actually the reason why I have a proper skincare routine. So I am gonna actually ask her to join us. Sent her a request, and we're going to take you through a dare to bear approach. And according to me, that is essentially keeping a capsule skincare regime in an effort to keep your face bare all the time. And I know I'm wearing makeup right now, but I don't wear makeup most of the time. And the whole idea behind good skin is to have skin that you don't need to cover up. You know, of course, all of us get zits. Of course, all of us have under eyes if we want to cover up if we've not slept well. But having great skin is as good as putting on good makeup, but it's permanent. I'm waiting for Dr. Pooja to join us. I'm just going to send her an invite again. And I know a lot of you ask me about what I use. And hi,
Hi.
how are you?
Good. How are you? Sorry, we just had a technical glitch.
No worries. This happens all the time. It's part of
I
the
know.
lockdown vibe.
Part of the lockdown life, part of the slow internet. It's okay.
Yeah,
How
it's
are you?
okay.
You look
So,
lovely.
uh, thank you. And as do you. Barefaced beauty. That's what we're
Thank
talking
you.
about
Thank you.
today.
Yes.
And I want to introduce all of you to Dr. Pooja. She is like she's my dermatologist. She's also someone who knows the ins and outs of my skin. And my skin is having a bad, like I said, good skin is like having a good boyfriend. So when we have a fight, I probably confide in her. Um, so yeah, Pooja, I want to tell everybody about how we started working together. I actually never had a dermatologist before. I fortunately never felt like I needed one. And as I kind of shifted onto this side of the 20s, I felt like, I need someone who can help me through. And I remember when I came to you, I was like, listen, I don't want something hectic. I don't want things which are harsh. And I want to be able to let my skin breathe and let my skin be. And I want my approach to be very minimal. So why don't you tell all of us about how we got started and what it's really like?
All right. I mean, when I got a call from you, and you said that you wanted to build a skincare routine, I think what we first discussed was what do you usually do, when you didn't have a skincare routine. And I remember you said that, you loved your oils, you loved the entire natural approach, and you wanted to keep it as streamlined as possible, and as
Yes.
well as try and still adopt a little bit of some of the DIYs that you're so fond of, stuff that you've grown up around. And basically what I thought is that it would be nice if we could marry the two. You know what I mean? Sort of
Yeah.
take skincare science, take clinical grade products from good brands, and sort of marry them into your everyday routine so that it could just be sort of easy for you to sort of flow into the routine. And for
Yeah.
me, I think it at that point when I saw you, I mean, I thought that your skin was just fine. But considering lockdown, considering the weather, considering stress, considering shoot time, all of that, I just think that there was a little bit of congestion. So we needed to address that. And at the same time, I think the whole idea that if you started out early and you focused on preventive care, you focused on
Yes.
early anti-aging, then like I always say, you don't need to do the big ticket treatments later on. So it's sort of starting
Correct.
out slow and easy and focusing on minor edits to your routine to sort of build it up as we go. So I think when we started out, I kept you on a very simple routine. It was we did a milk cleanser from Biologique, the Levipo 2, and it was a double cleanse at night, micellar water, Levipo 2. And I wanted to bring in a little bit of an exfoliator in your routine, just something very mild, not too strong. I don't want to resurface the skin. It still
I
has to
think
be.
that was a big one. That was a big one for me because I've always kind of stayed away from. I think this was my big introduction to acids, you know,
Correct. Yeah.
because like how you were saying, my skincare philosophy has always been um, very minimal. It's also had a lot of DIYs. It's also had a lot of influence of Ayurveda, and I think this was my kind of like an introduction for me into cosmeceuticals and skincare and performance skincare, because
Yeah.
all of them really have their place. And what I told you is that, look, I really don't want to get into invasive procedures, and I want to keep my skin the way that it is, and I want to make sure as I age naturally. And I think that's where it kind of started off. You want to preserve it, but then you also want to be able to age in a very beautiful way.
Yeah, I mean, you want to upkeep your skin. So I think
Yeah,
that whenever you introduce, you're doing something already at home, you're doing a lot of DIYs, then the entire idea of the acids is to be the active ingredient in your skincare. And that's when I cautioned you that while you are on the acids, and while we're introducing you to the acids quite slowly, you need to be mindful about other things that you do to sort of keep the other products that you use quite neutral, quite bland, so that there's no cross sensitivity. And that's what I think often happens when you try to marry DIY with
yeah.
cosmeceuticals, with performance skincare, which sort of have high percentages of ingredients in them. So I think the lotion P50, the cult product, that was your big introduction, and we started you off on something really mild, almost a wash-off formula,
Why don't
and
you
I think
tell
that
everybody
responded really
about
well. But
acids? Why don't you kind of I think a lot of people are asking about acids and how they really work on the face. I
yeah,
think That's something that you might want to tell
I
us
mean,
all about.
acids are, I know it's quite a scary word because when you first say acids, people think, oh my God, am I going to apply this on my face? But acids that are
Yeah.
formulated now, there are a bunch of them, they're basically extracts of fruit, okay? They are called alpha hydroxy acids. So that's actually present in anything citrus that you eat or you see in nature. But we've just managed to extract it, process
Mm-hmm.
it, and sort of make it stable so that when you apply it on your face, you have a desirable expected result. So there are a bunch of acids in the market. There's alpha hydroxy acid, beta hydroxy acid. Everybody's really familiar with this one, the pimple popper salicylic acid. And there's
Yeah.
new age polyhydroxy acids. Now, what happens is that if you're new to acids and there's nobody guiding you, you may land up overstripping your skin. You may land up hurting your skin. You may land up making your skin a little bit more sensitive. So the thing about acids is they are like housekeeping. It just sort of brushes off the dead skin from your
That's
face
right.
so that your new skin, your baby skin, is able to sort of just come out nicely.
Yeah.
Usually near you and I, late 20s, early 30s, the skin sort of exfoliates every 30 days, okay?
Okay.
But as we get older, this exfoliation just becomes slower. And when
Mm-hmm.
that becomes slower, you feel like my skin's just feeling a little clogged. It's feeling like the pores are looking big. There are little black spots on my nose. It's not feeling even. It's not looking dewy.
That's what a
And
lot of people are asking about blackheads and the spots on the nose.
correct, correct. It's a very funny term to it. It's called trichostasis spinulosa. I told you about it the other day. It's basically this misnomer that it's blackheads on the nose. It's not real blackheads actually. Sometimes it's also oil that's trapped in the nose and it just lines along the hairline. So it creates these
Mm-hmm.
small, small, small dots, and when you like remove it, it's just goo that comes out. So I
Mm-hmm.
think acids are fantastic for something like that because it'll just help unclog your skin. But more than that, acids are also anti-aging, and that's what nobody knows, right?
Mm.
When you have regular exfoliation, your skin renewal cycle is better. And when your skin renewal cycle is better, all the fine lines that sort of start coming up in early 30s, late 20s, that sort of gets addressed really
Mm.
early on, and it sort of punches in it sort of jumpstarts your skin to produce
It
more
does help
collagen.
with pigmentation as well, and like spots and all too.
Absolutely. So first thing, acids, great for decongesting, great for brightening. Second thing about acids is it's fantastic for pigmentation. And being, skin of color, more brown skin in tropical weather like ours, which is, has a lot of sunlight. We have harsh summers. It really helps to sort of lighten the pigmentation that's produced due to sun exposure. And a lot of us suffer from it.
Yeah,
Sometimes even
even sometimes the marks that we may get after you have a zit, or you may have some other kind of marks, and I think that was a big game changer for me, because I have skin that scars very easily, and sometimes
yes,
when you get
you
stubborn
mentioned that.
zits, sometimes you get them when you're PMSing, sometimes like these days it's maskne, and my maskne is just sometimes misbehaves a lot. Let's put it that way. I've noticed that, it really does help to turn around and turn over the skin to kind of help to not let the marks actually stay and set in. And I know a lot of people have trouble with marks. And
Absolutely.
you realize that only when, it's great. It's very easy to say I have great skin when I'm in my early 20s. It's now when you have to start looking after it. You have to pay attention to the little signs that your skin is giving you. Like for me, when I had told you that, look, Pooja, I'm noticing that my skin is now
Taking
scarring a
longer
little
to
more.
heal.
It's
Yeah.
taking longer to heal. It's kind of, the marks are taking more time than they would. And I think we kind of, you know, getting on to to how to build a skincare routine. And I was a newbie, and I've basically built a skincare routine when I was 26. Before that, it was pretty much DIY, and it worked very well for me. And what I loved about you is that you let me be. You kind of let my skin personality be, which was, you were like, yeah, it's fine. You know, you want to do the DIYs, it's okay. It was kind of like when to do it, how frequently to do it. Likewise with I love massaging my face with oil, but you were like, okay, Mira, I think right now you need to hold off on it. Let's do this for 4 weeks and then let's see how to go about it. So let's look at like maybe 4 or 5 key pillars that we need to look into when we are building a skincare routine.
Absolutely. I think what we have to embrace is that skincare routine takes time. All right.
Yeah,
It's not hard work, but it's consistency, and you got to be
correct.
patient. So a lot of times, you may start a product and it's not giving you the desired results in the next day, and that's completely okay. Wait, we always say, wait for 1 cycle, 2 cycle, which means 30 to 50 days for the results to really show up. So I think the consistency game is absolutely crucial when you first start a skincare routine. And that's what I told you as well, Mira. You're going to come back to me in the next 2, 3 weeks and say, this is happening, that is happening. And I'm going to be like, just continue. It's okay. And I think when you start anything in terms of a new product, do not introduce a lot of products together, because that's another issue. So when I first started you, it was as simple as I gave you a milk cleanser. I said, let's do an acid and let's do a very bland, hydrating, nourishing cream that also like sort of deals with scarring. And I gave you one serum. That's it. What happens is if you go overboard, if you layer too many things, you're not going to land up figuring out if something goes wrong, what is the product that, went wrong.
Yeah,
So
true.
I think the second thing is just to be really slow and be patient, and you can bookmark all the nice products you want, but just keep adding them one at a
Yeah.
time. It's like now, right? The other day you called me, you said, okay, I love this cleansing balm. I'm going to try it. And
The
I said,
one that
yeah,
I
okay,
just put up. Yeah. I put it
yeah,
up.
because
I
now,
loved it so much. And I think, it was after you told me that, yeah, it's fine for your skin because you're like, I'm putting oil on my face. Isn't it going to make it oilier?
exactly. So you just have to be patient. And I think what happens is also when, so that's the second point, right? You just gotta make sure you don't combine way too many things together. And third is to accept a few things about your skin. So a lot of people go in with wrong expectations that, okay, if I'm gonna invest in the skincare, boom, it's gonna be a full makeover and I'm gonna walk out with like glass, dewy skin. That's not real. Real skin does misbehave. Like you said, right? There is
Correct.
stress. Adulting is not easy. There is maskne, there is PMS, there is, just you've been out in the sun, you've been out on the beach, you forgot to do your
Food up and
skincare.
down,
Food,
sleep.
sleep, lots of time on the internet, lots of time on Instagram, kids,
Yes.
stress, all of that adds up, right? And that to accept that, okay, if I get a zit, the entire idea is to know how to deal with it. Because if you go pop it, if you go apply unnecessary products to it, you're actually going to affect the way it heals. So the idea, like I told you, whenever like a zit comes up, I said, okay, just relax. It's okay. We'll just apply this, be consistent with it. And within 3 to 4 days, you will see it calm down. And that's
Correct.
the thing about zits as well, right? If you let it be and if you just use 1 or 2 products, it actually subsides without leaving marks. And I think
And I think
skin,
that's what we're talking about, right? It's about having a very uh, like almost like a capsule skincare regime.
yes,
And the
it's your
idea
skincare
is to
wardrobe.
exactly, and it and the end point to that is to be able to have skin that you can wear very proudly. You don't have to cover it up all the time, and that's
Absolutely.
what
It's the whole
I love.
idea.
It's to be barefaced. Especially now that we're in the pandemic, we're home a lot more. It's given us time to rethink a lot of things, but it's also given us a chance of makeup. And that's why for me, it really, the skincare routine found its way into my life uh, at a very good time. And I felt like the few things that you gave me that really helped, was the introduction of double cleansing. I never realized how important double cleansing is. I never realized how much it can really help you and how much gunk is really left behind after you've washed your face and you think it's clean. I think the second thing was the acid, how acids exfoliate your face like nothing else. It My skin is just a new person, and it literally is, because your skin becomes new every 35 to 45
Every
days, I
5 days.
think. But I felt like my skin was just it felt loved. The third thing I would say was giving me a really good vitamin C, and essentially a serum that looked into all my needs in one. I was not putting 25 different things on my face,
And
each for
that's
something
very
else.
dangerous. You cannot be doing that. You cannot be doing 25 and 10 steps and layering and patting this and patting that. It doesn't work. It has to be skincare on the go. Yes, there
Yeah,
are
otherwise
times.
you'll never be consistent.
Yeah, and there will be times when you'll have a little bit more time to indulge in maybe a mask or to
Yes.
indulge in maybe a gua sha. But for an everyday consistent basis, you need one serum, max two if
Yeah.
you really
And
really need.
that really helped. That really helped me. And of course, lastly, it was sunscreen. I used to laugh at my friends who used to be talking about putting sunscreen, and I was like, yuck, it leaves a white cast. It's so sticky. I'm never gonna put sunscreen. Guys, find the right sunscreen.
Yes,
The right sunscreen
absolutely.
is your best friend. You will find one that works for you. You'll find one that you can wear. And I remember, Pooja, you told me whatever you're using, continue using it if it works for you. The idea is to wear it every day.
Yes, the consistency is more important than the SPF. Everybody keeps asking me what SPF and how often. I'm like, you know what? Even if it's SPF 30, as long as you're wearing it, the ideal SPF is SPF 50. But even if you're wearing it every day and if you're stepping out in the sun, you're repeating the sunscreen every 2 to 3 hours, that is going to be a game changer, because the sunscreen is what's going to protect you from getting pigmentation. It's what's going to protect you from getting burns if you're slightly on the fairer side. And the last one is it's going to prevent the denting of the collagen. Because when the sunscreen comes and penetrates your skin, it starts, sort of just creating small, like it works like a hammer, and it just starts to dent all the foundations of your skin. And that's when you start noticing the wrinkles, that's when you start noticing the fine lines. And wearing sunscreen makes it really important. And today there's such amazing formulations for sunscreen. You have the physical
So what do you
formulation.
recommend? What do you recommend is the right type of sunscreen for someone? I would say especially people with oily skin are very scared of sunscreen because sunscreen is sticky. So what would you recommend? Mineral based, chemical sunscreens, a particular type. There are some which are tinted. Your makeup, foundation has SPF.
Yeah.
What do you recommend?
So the rule is more layers does not mean more sunscreen, which means if you have a sunscreen in your moisturizer, sunscreen alone, and sunscreen in your makeup, it's not going to add up to give you SPF 150. It's still SPF 50. So you can choose the sunscreen to be in one or two of your products. I personally prefer a physical sunscreen, the zinc oxide based, titanium dioxide based sunscreens. And then the consistency is based on the skin type that you have. So if you're really oily kind of skin, very acne prone skin, then you can just go for a gel based sunscreen, and there are lots of them out there. It's sort of just glide onto your skin. And sometimes, because it's a mineral or a physical sunscreen, they do leave a white cast, but that dissipates within 5 minutes. If you have more of a
Mm-hmm.
dry side, you can combine like a sunscreen moisturizer together and sort of use that as a moisturizer on your face, and that will not leave a white cast either. The trick of making sure that your sunscreen does not leave a white cast is to make sure your skin is moisturized before. If you have dry skin, no matter how fantastic your sunscreen is, it will leave a white cast. So my preference is a physical sunscreen, but if it just doesn't work for you, you can go for chemical sunscreens as well. They sort of get absorbed into your skin and they work by creating a reaction and sort of deflecting the light. So both
Got
is
it.
okay. They're both absolutely safe. I know there's a lot of controversy about chemical sunscreens, but they're both absolutely safe. Choose the consistency based on your skin type. So it ranges from gel to cream to even a little bit more oily, and that's completely okay. You can choose a spray form if you want to reapply, but I would always say the first application should be with the hands. We have like a 2-finger rule where you make sure that both these fingers are covered with a sunscreen, and then you apply it on your entire face and neck. And I say that whatever is left, please put it on your hands, because 10 years later, you're probably going to be like, my face looks okay, but my hands look 10 years older. And
Yes.
that is a best way to sort of incorporate sunscreen in your routine. And that's the reason you need double cleansing, because sunscreen sort of sits on your face. And if you don't double cleanse, you're not able to remove the sunscreen from off your face thoroughly. And when you don't do
Got
that,
it.
all the other amazing products that you have in your night routine, they don't really penetrate very well. And that's why I absolutely enforce double cleansing, but I say be gentle about it. So if Mira, you told me, okay, I'm going to do a milk cleansing and then I'm going to do a little bit of foaming cleansing, no, that's going to really make your skin
Strip
super
the skin.
scratchy and super dry. But keep it gentle. Maybe use a micellar based or a milk based cleanser, and that way you will surely get your sunscreen off. So that's my little take on sunscreen. Do it every day, even if it's raining, even if you're at home, wear sunscreen. Your phone emits so much of light, so
Yeah.
no matter where, you need to be protected. At least apply it once, if not twice. So unless you live in a cave, please wear sunscreen. And that's
So
exactly what I
Pooja,
do.
let's talk about acne. I think after we've built the skincare routine, which is something that stays with us, you have acne which comes and goes. Sometimes you have acne which is basically the root of all problems and the reason why you want to build one or change a skincare routine. And I think acne is something that all of us have faced sometime or the other, whether you're a girl, a boy, a man, a woman, everyone's kind of faced acne issues. So tell me, what are the three things that, like, three quick tips and three quick, suggestions that we should definitely incorporate into our skincare routine to deal with or prevent acne?
Okay. Two of the tips are actually going to be not related to skincare. The first tip is to make sure you're drinking water. You get 2.5 liters in, and you will notice that the acne is less painful. It subsides significantly, very easily. So the entire idea is to make your skin hydrated from the inside, and a hydrated skin is able to repair better. It's able to sort of turn around the acne, fight the infection really quickly. So that would be my tip number one. My tip number two is don't touch it. The 10 times you touch it, the acne is going to crawl. Remember, you said your acne is sort of spreading. Every time you touch an acne and then you'll end up touching the rest of your face, you're going to take that concentrated bacteria, which is P. acnes, and spread it elsewhere. So it's actually going to make it worse for you. It's going to make the acne
That's
more
what's happening with
persistent.
masks, I feel.
That's exactly what's happening with masks, because when you're wearing masks, first of all, there's friction. Okay, so it's making your skin barrier a little bit weak, and then you're breathing all that air and you're sort of touching it. That cloth is spreading the acne everywhere else. That's why maskne is so common, even in those people who never had a zit. I have people
Yes.
coming and say, I've never had a pimple. Why am I getting a pimple at the age of 45? Like, because you're wearing a mask for 8 hours of the day, maybe because of work or
Yeah.
something else. And that's what happens with acne. The third one is actually a very simple prescription cream that you can get, either a benzyl peroxide or a clindamycin. I prefer clindamycin because it doesn't leave a mark. And I give benzyl peroxide for young kids where I really need where the acne is really tough and I need it to sort of subside. But benzyl peroxide does make the skin a little red. So for mature skin, I never give benzyl peroxide. So these are my three tips. Two of them have got nothing to do with skincare. All right.
But it
So
is about lifestyle at the end of the
it
day.
is. And that's what I wanted to like sort of bring up here, is that when you told me that, I have occasional acne and stuff like that, the first things we discussed is, what are you eating?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you having acne suddenly? Why are you breaking out despite sort of getting good sleep and all of that. So it's really to make sure that you're not having a diet which has high glycemic index. Your milk consumption, your dairy consumption is not off the charts. And if you make these very minor lifestyle adjustments, it has a significant improvement on acne. And I feel like everybody's just running from, post to post, trying to like apply 10,000 products to get their acne to
It's
sort of
not
subside.
required.
It's not. It's
It's
really,
not
really
required.
not.
I completely agree with you, and that's basically coming to the the next part of our chat is that I've been someone who's had a skincare routine or the lack of one that is kind of um more more kitchen based, more DIY, and I love it. I still do. I mean, that's one of the things that we really connected on. I was like, I have always hesitated to go to a dermatologist because I always felt that they're not going to understand my philosophy. I always want to keep it very natural. I do want to keep it minimal. And I want to take things from from traditions, from Ayurveda, and I want to integrate them into my skincare routine. And I don't want somebody to give me, a checklist of things to do and a series of procedures and facials and other things that I need to do to my face. I want it to be something that integrates into my life and also integrates everything that that I believe in, which is traditional wisdom, which is a little bit of DIY, which is a little bit of science from the past. And what you did was very seamlessly bring in performance skincare, and then I have to thank you for that because
You're most welcome.
recognizing the right products, I think, was very important. I realized that I had a cupboard full of things which I used to keep trying, and I didn't need any of them. It just fit on a small little glass shelf. So I want to ask you because we have so many people who are like me. We like doing things which are traditional, and we also want to approach skincare from a scientific point of view. You want it to deliver. You want the product that you buy to deliver. You don't want to buy something just because it says natural. You want that natural thing to also work for you. And what you gave me essentially was plant-based, but well researched, delivers on its promise. And we never actually completely said a bye-bye to a face pack that I kind of whip up at home. So what is your take on marrying, traditional wisdom and the science of skincare and bringing in performance skincare into one's routine, for, I would say, the modern Indian woman?
That's quite a heavy question. So I think being trained in a very clinical background, like I was trained in Singapore. So the exposure to performance skincare, the emphasis on ingredients, the sourcing of the ingredients, what really goes on in what comes in a bottle was very important, right? But with my roots in India, also having grown up seeing my mother do DIY, I realized that there
Yes.
are DIYs, and now having a baby, I realized that there are DIYs which are fantastic, but if used correctly. And so whenever I have a patient or a client that's very enthusiastic about DIYs, my thing is, are you intuitive about your skincare? So if you're just going to see something on the internet, not understand what it's going to do for your skin, and then apply that on your face, you probably A, will damage your skin, or B, not get the desired results.
Yeah.
So when you told me that,
Yes.
okay, sometimes, I just want to put a papaya on my face, or sometimes I just take a little bit of dahi or honey, mix it together and put it on my face, or if there's leftover avocado's gone a little bad, and I'm just putting that as a face pack, that's completely okay. And that's encouraged, okay, because these
Mm-hmm.
are nourishing things that you're eating. But tomorrow,
Or
if you tell me,
multani
hey,
mitti for that matter.
multani mitti for that matter. But if you tell me, can I put a little bit of nimbu and a little bit of garlic and a little bit of this and a little bit of charcoal powder and activated this and put that on my face, that's a recipe for disaster. So I think a lot of people don't realize that Ayurveda itself is a science. And
Correct.
our holistic methodology is also a science, which means it's absolutely important for us to understand those ingredients as well, to understand what it does. For example, haldi is tetrahydrocurcumin, it's curcumin, and it's quite strong. So if you're doing vitamin C and you're doing an acid and maybe you're doing tretinoin and you go and apply curcumin on your face at the same time, you might not do the best thing for your skin. And that's why I say that we just say, "Arey, ye haldi hai, it's okay, it's in my kitchen."
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
kitchen ingredients are quite potent. So understanding the Ayurveda science is also quite important. So
Mm-hmm.
asking the right questions. For example, honey is very moisturizing. It's amazing. But if you have an extremely oily face and you're full of acne and you're going to apply honey on your face, it's probably
It's
not
a
a good
recipe for
idea.
disaster.
The
Yeah.
recipe for disaster. So being very intuitive about your skincare is extremely crucial. Less is more. So, okay, today if I want to do something which is DIY at home, I don't do the rest of my routine. It's absolutely okay. And
That's what I do. That's what
yeah,
I do.
so the less is more is really important. That I don't have to do 100 things together. Do Ayurveda, do grandma's recipe, do cosmeceuticals, do all the cult beauty products and apply them together. That's not going to work.
We
So
have to talk about we have to talk about cult beauty products because I find like there are just more and more that are coming up, and many a times even I am asking you like, listen, what's the deal with Tret? Tell me
yeah,
what's do am I using niacinamide? Because everybody's saying you should be using niacinamide. And you know what? I used to never think about these things before. Very honestly, because my routine was just so simple. I would never think about these things before. But as you get more aware, and as you get more aware about your skin, what other people are doing, I think there is a tendency to like buy everything and buy like
correct.
every cult beauty product that's there. I mean, one day it's niacinamide, the next day it's tretinoin, the third day it's vitamin C, and then you're back to hyaluronic acid, which is, hiding a little bit for some time. People have forgotten about it. So what's the deal with cult beauty products? Because I kind of feel like for me, I've been doing the same skincare routine now. I think saving season change from just basic winter to summer, we've kind of stuck to a very good, um, good skeleton, which just changes here and there from time to time. But I don't think we've ever had a cult beauty product which has made an appearance on the routine.
So I don't like to overhaul routines, right? There is something called staples. It's your skeleton, like you said. The staple stays with you because these are products that just work. You know that whenever you reach out to them, they're going to deliver, right?
Mm-hmm.
And more often than not, whether it's a cult status or a not cult status, the importance is that these products are tried and tested. They're backed by clinical research. The companies making them are ethical, they are scientific, they're constantly doing research. So I think it's important to sort of understand if you can trust the brand, you know.
Mm-hmm.
These basically form your skeletons. And then there are always trending ingredients. There's sometimes licorice, there's sometimes
Tea
azelaic
tree
acid,
oil, there's
tea tree
sometimes,
oil.
yeah.
There's obviously hyaluronic acid, which was like trending for a long period of time, niacinamide. What happens is these are ingredients, and you may not always need these ingredients. Like I told you, Mira, you don't need a niacinamide because it's not going to really do much. You don't have that much redness. You don't have that much PIH. Let's focus more on using vitamin C because that's going to sort of help in reducing the scarring faster. So I
That's
think
true because the fact is that you need to understand your skin, and if you don't understand your skin, you need somebody who does.
yes.
And I did think that I understood my skin, but I think having you really helped because, like I said, you were like, no, I don't think you really need niacinamide. I don't think you really. It's like it's like a trainer. Like he says, no, I don't think you need to do that much cardio. You're
Yeah,
good.
I mean, it's a balance, right? And then sometimes, as your skin evolves, right, as your needs change, like for example, now we did a seasonal change for you. We made that small edit in your acid where we said, I think, Mia, you need to go into a stronger acid just for this season because it's really congested, it's really hot and humid. maybe a couple of years later, you'll be like, okay, I think that, you know, my line's a little stronger because I don't want to do anything invasive. What can we do about that? And that's when we sort of will bring in another ingredient, right? So I think when I build a skincare routine, the focus is on playing with 3 or 4 key ingredients and sort of sticking to them, and not just jumping onto a bandwagon of the latest ingredient that's out there. Because the thing is, what may work for your skin, what may work for a blogger's skin, what the company may say may not work for you. And if you're constantly sort of overhauling your skincare routine, there's going to be no consistency. So the
Yeah.
thumb rule that I say is stick to a skeleton for 3 months, and then after 3 months, you make micro edits to your skin. Maybe just add a new serum, or see what product is not delivering as much as you'd like to. Maybe you need a little bit of alpha arbutin in your skin, and sort of swap that out for another product. So
Yeah.
that's my take on trending trending ingredients. Because see, there's research being done every day, whether it's Ayurveda, there's discovery in Ayurveda. I mean, we're discovering rediscovering old traditions and old philosophies and old principles. We're all well traveled, so we're also learning a lot, say for example, from traditional Chinese medicine. I mean, the gua sha comes from there, right? We're adopting a little bit of Korean philosophy with the double cleansing. That's what started the
Yeah.
whole idea of double cleansing. So we are taking a little bit from different cultures, sort of taking the best and cherry picking what is now a modern skincare routine, which is not really rooted to one country or one culture, but I think it's being the global modern sort of millennials we are. We're sort of knowing that, okay, this is something that we can adopt from here, this is something we can adopt from here. So when a brand reaches cult status, it truly means that most people who've tried it have seen excellent results from it. So if you're somebody new, if you're somebody who's just starting out skincare, I would say trust brands that have sort of represented themselves well, not marketed
Yeah.
themselves, but represented
Correct.
themselves well through clinical research, through products that work, who are talking about the ingredients in their products, who are talking about their methodology, who are really there to explain the sort of skincare science behind it, or even those brands who are happy to build a routine for you. A lot of times we get clients saying that I want to buy a bunch of things, and we say, why don't you just sign up for maybe a consult or a survey-based questionnaire? Tell us what you need, tell us your goals, you know, sort of also maybe sometimes
That's
tell us
how
your
it started
budget.
with us, if you remember. That's how it started.
I
I actually,
insisted.
I actually called up Pooja because I was like, listen, I've heard all about this new toner and this new acid, and basically we actually got to know each other through Vasudha Rai. And when
Hi,
she told me
Vasudha.
to get, yeah, and when she told me to get in touch with you, I was like, definitely, I'm going to speak to her. And then I think we just clicked because you were like, you know what? Sure, you want to use this. You think it's going to help you, but like, tell me a little bit about what you're doing. And then we just came up with a skincare routine, which was very simple, super effective. I told you I've never seen my skin look like that before.
Yeah, I remember that.
Um, and so,
No,
yeah,
I
sometimes it can be like one product that gets you into researching a little bit. And I would say like on this side of the chat, someone who's, been through the beats of a skincare routine is I've realized the importance and the value that a good dermatologist really brings. And this has nothing to do with the fact that we're doing this live, but genuinely, everybody that I've met, I was like, I finally found someone who knows me. I finally found someone who understands me. They don't want to give me 1,000 products and a zillion different procedures and must do this facial and that pack and this and that. We've never actually met. We
we
started
never met.
this
I know that'll be so
in the
exciting.
pandemic. Every consult of ours has been virtual, and now everyone in the family is with you. So I have to say that, thanks, Pooja. Thank you for introducing me to the world of performance skincare, because I've always been an Ayurveda girl and I've always been a DIY girl. And now I know how to balance the two. I know how, there's a place for both. there is a place for DIYs, but there is also a place for performance skincare. There is a place for products that have been researched, that have clinical backing. And I'm very grateful to you that you kind of let me be me, and you let me have the wiggle room to kind of decide my approach to it. And you were quite respectful of that. And I have to say, it's very rare to find people who are not um, wanting to give their philosophy to somebody else. It was more like it was a really nice back and forth that we had. So I want to tell all of you guys that, you can just click on Pooja's handle that's up there. And I have done every consult of mine virtually. And I've been telling you to bring your clinic to Bombay
Soon,
super
fingers
soon.
crossed. I think, I mean, I don't think it's just my responsibility, but what I see is that when it comes to the aesthetic industry, this is your highest real estate. That's what I tell people. People who come to Kosa, they trust us with their face, right? So I feel like it's my responsibility to make sure that we build your skin health.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't
about
walk away
health,
with a bunch of
actually.
products. Yeah, it's your skin health. That okay, maybe you'll have a little bit of pigmentation that's there, but your skin feels so goddamn healthy that you're like, you know what? I don't even need to wear makeup, and that's when I feel like yes, we've achieved what we're setting out to do, which is being there to be bare. A little bit of makeup is okay. You want to go full
Yeah,
out on makeup to sort of enhance your features, to contour a little bit,
correct.
go have a field day. But I want makeup to enhance, not to hide, to highlight, not to hide it all, because truly being bare skin, being really in your skin, I think it's one of the most
It's empowering.
self-fulfilling.
I
Yeah, it's
feel, yeah, I
empowering.
feel it's
It's
very empowering to be able to walk out of a shower and straight to meet a
straight
friend of
out.
yours, or to go outside. And I think it's as close to being honest with yourself that you can be.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
today was not just about obviously discussing skincare and skin health, but it's also, daring to be bare. I think just being bare with yourself, feeling confident enough to not have anything on your face, and that actually comes from inside. Like good skin comes from inside. And like you said, drinking a lot of water is very underrated. I know people say that, oh yeah, this is another person who's saying drink a lot of water, but yeah, it does help. But likewise, a well planned skin routine really really helps. And I know a lot of you guys are asking me, what should we use, what should we use. I think today what we've said is everybody's needs are
Different.
individual. What works for me may not work for you, and sometimes what may work for me at this point of time may not work for me at another point of time.
It has to be customized. It has to be tailored to your needs at this point in time. Your skin is an organ. It's alive, it's breathing, it's gonna have needs, it's gonna have different requirements at different point in time, in different seasons, even different time of the day. We no longer describe the skin as oily or dry or anything. We say whether
Yeah,
it's
I've
thin.
never been able to find out my
Yeah,
skin type.
there
It's
is no skin
different.
type. It could be oily, it could be dry, it could be dehydrated, it could be thin, it could be reactive sometimes. It really depends on the current instant in which your skin is. And I think we adopt that philosophy at Kosa. And what we say is that, the skincare is a journey. Like when you come on board with us, you tell us your goals and we work towards that goals. And it's okay if you don't want to absolutely do anything in terms of invasive. It's completely okay. You do you,
Yeah,
and that's the
you
and
do
that's the
you,
beauty.
exactly.
That's the beauty of aesthetic skincare. There is so much available. There is medical facials, there's injectables, there's lasers, there's heavy duty treatments, and they all do wonders for your skin. But it's really to understand
What
what you're
works for you?
approaching and what
Yeah.
you need at this point in time. At this point in time, I just thought that you needed a little bit of sophisticated skincare routine. Marry that with some of the DIYs that you do at home. Maybe once in 3 or 4 months, just a little bit of a medical facial, just to sort of upkeep your skin if required, given your lifestyle, and that's
I've still
it.
never had a facial in my
And
life.
you haven't done that yet. So that's the power of a good skincare routine. It sort of
Yeah.
sets the tone for anything that you want to do later. And when we first started Kosa, I never thought I'd be spending so much time talking about skin health because, here I am trained to do injectables and lasers and the latest stuff. And when I came back to India, I realized that, what we really need to focus on is building the skin up, because
Correct.
no matter what heavy duty treatments you do, if you're not happy with the skin health, nothing you do is going to make you look or feel amazing. So that's where the focus really shifted to making sure that you had at least a basic routine down to pat, something that you were happy with, something that you understood, and something that you could just grow old with. And I think that's where we developed this philosophy, which was really the celebration of the individualized notion of beauty. It's not my idea of beauty. It has to be your idea of beauty. You have to be happy with it.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt like was the most important with you, because you made it very clear that this is what I like, this is what I want to do. I'm not someone who does too much to my skin. I don't like a lot of invasive things. I don't want to be doing 100 things. And I understood where you came from, and it was really easy to sort of marry that during our consult. And
it's been amazing. I've had a great time with you.
In being very, practicing restraint when I requested you to. And,
well, the only time you asked me to practice restraint was when you told me to stop using my face oils for some time. And that was a very easy barter because it's come back. It was just for those 3 weeks where you were like, listen,
2 months, yeah.
Just hold off, and now it's back. I think I'm a lot more aware. I'm a lot more, I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about my skin, but I also know now, I know how to buy better. I'm not buying 100 things. I'm not buying every new product that's out there. I know what works. I have a good night cream. I'm gonna stick to that night cream. I've always liked, I've always liked the Kumkumadi oil. I'm not gonna use some new oil just because. So I feel like, it's always it's great to know yourself, but it's also good to have someone who knows you equally well. So thanks, Pooja.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to us.
This has been great. And I really
much.
hope to see you soon in person whenever possible. But I know that you've done wonders for me behind the screen. So if any of you guys, this happened very, very organically. I was like, Pooja, I really, really want everyone to know how we've approached this. So many of you ask me about my skin, and I want you guys to know it's not just me. It's also, your valuable guidance, and I couldn't thank you more. I just know better now. I know better. I know what not to put. I know what to do. I know if I'm getting a little bit of an issue, how to arrest it early on and nip it in the bud. So thank you.
You're most welcome. And, I know it's impossible to consult everyone, but I'm trying my best to make sure that we put enough relevant information out there through our blogs to just be able to make it easier to make the right choices. And I think for me, if I rather you walk home with one product that's going to work for you and that's going to deliver than walk home with like a bunch of products. And that's what we do at the heart of all of it.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Pooja. Thanks, everyone.
This was amazing.
All of you, I know you have a lot of questions. You guys can DM me. You can DM Dr. Pooja. And yes, Pooja, I'll see you very soon.
I'll see you soon. Take care.
Take care. Bye. Bye, everyone.